Are you tired of looking for the right agency? Are you tired of hearing all of these promises that never really came true? Well, there are tons of agencies out there that can help you to process your J1 visa program, but not all of them are reliable and helpful. And most of the time, the students don't even know what to look for the right agency. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to choose the right and the best agency just right for your needs. But before we dive into the video, we have an important shout out to do. Now, if you're wondering how you can be featured in the next video, well, all you have to do is like this video, leave a comment down below, or take a screenshot of this video and post it on your Instagram story. But don't forget to tag me at rioworldwide.co so I can see your post. And now, let's proceed to the video. Okay, so why did I say that you should choose the right and the best agency just right for your needs? It is because that, we all know that we have different journeys and struggles in life. So with that being said, we all have different wants, needs, and time in this world. It is very important to know what are your needs first, then your wants, what are the things that you can compromise, and what are the things that you cannot compromise. I want you to listen fully in this video because choosing the right agency should be your number one priority. And trust me when I said that this should be your top priority because I chose the wrong agency before and I had a really bad experience with them. That is one of the main reasons why I started this channel. I want to share my experiences, educate every aspiring J1 interns about this program, and set the right expectation. I did the J1 program twice and I used a different agency for each one. So I have experienced the good and the bad. That's why in today's video, I curated all of the things that you should look for an agency that will set you up for success. Number one, communication. It is very important to look for an agency that practice good communication because you will not only work with them once, but you will work with them all of the time, most of the time that you are processing your J1 visa. So it is very important that, it is convenient to talk to them, to communicate with them, or to reach out with them. So you can see this when you reach out to them. How fast do they reply? How helpful are they? Do they answer all of your questions? Especially if you have zero idea or if you have no idea at all about this J1 program. So you really need to look for an agency that communicates very well to you and not just speak your language, but what I mean is like speak what you want and speak what you really need, because that is what you really want for an agency that is really helpful. Before, I look for an agency that have a coordinator or someone or representative that is friendly, because so I can communicate to them better. But now I don't think that friendly is maybe it's just a want, it's not really a need, because you are not there to be friends with them. You are there for business. You are there for them to help you to process your program. So you really need to make sure that these people has a really good communication skills that can really help you for what you truly need in this program. Second is expedited process. Now this one is depend on you. It depends on what you need. Do you want to go here in the United States as soon as possible? Well, then look for an agency that has an expedited process. Now with the agency that I have partnered with, our processing is from 10 weeks to 14 weeks. So usually it's around 2 to 3 months only. So that is a really good processing. So especially if you are like really in a rush, or for example, you have graduated last June 2019 and you will be 1 year graduated from the college on June 2020. So right now it's March, so you really have to look for an agency that can expedite the process, so that agency can be perfect for you. But if you are not in a rush and all of the process and all of the money that you will need in this program is still not yet ready, then I highly suggest that you can still go to agency that expedite the process, but just submit your paper whenever you are ready, so you are not like really rushing, being worried so much about the money on when are you gonna get it. Or Or you can also just, choose an agency that, how do I say this? I don't want to offend someone, but there's really a lot of agency that process your paper for 1 whole year because their services are not really that efficient. So I've said earlier that you should look for an agency that have your needs. So it can cater, all of the things that you want, and, everyone is happy. Your needs got granted, and how they work as a agency provider or help provider or service provider met. So that is something that you should look for, and that is something that you should keep in your mind. So third is reputation and values. Do you guys believe in the same things? Do you guys practice the same values? That is something that is, I think, very important that most of the students don't really think about, because working in a agency is like having a relationship. There's no perfect relationship, there is no perfect agency, but as long as you know what you want and you know what you need, what are the things that you are getting from them, and the expectation is set right, then you can have a very good experience. Like what I have said earlier, you need to know what are your wants, you need to know what are your needs, you need to know what are the things that you can compromise and what are the things that you cannot compromise. So are they transparent? Are they helpful? So what do I mean by transparent? Do they say or do they explain all of the rules that they have or all of the policy that they have in their company? Are they helpful? Are they going to help you from start to the end of your program? Or they're just helpful because they are waiting for your money, and once you give your money, they're not responsive anymore. So if you have a friend that has been in that agency, you should ask first their experiences. So if they had the bad experiences, or if they said that, oh, they do this but they don't do that, then ask yourself, okay, can I compromise this, or I cannot compromise that? That is something that you should really think about. So just a quick story, guys. During my second internship, I know, or I kind of know what I need, or what am I looking for an agency. So I was like, oh, I just want an agency that has or offer cheaper program fees, and also has an expedite process. So lucky for me, I found the agency that I thought I was looking for, that an agency that offer cheaper program fees, and also an agency that offer expedited process. But the thing is, the lady who's in charge of that is really rude. Well, she is helpful, I need to give that credit, but I didn't really like her personality, because as a person, I have a lot of questions, and I think she is not just the right person for me. So every time I ask her a question, I feel so stupid, or I feel like I am causing too much inconvenience because I have too much question. That's what I thought. But it's normal. It's normal for a student to ask a lot of questions, especially if you are, you never been here in the United States, or you have never experienced or no idea at all about this J1 program. That's why I remember, I said earlier that communication is really like number one, something that you should not compromise, because you will really work with them a lot. So if you have a lot of questions, if you are that kind of type of person that asks a lot of questions, then you should choose someone that will not make you feel stupid, and at the end of the day you will feel like educated or motivated, or having the right mindset that you need, so you can have a so you can have a successful J1 visa program. Number 4, services. You should ask them what are the services that they offer, because not all agencies have the same process or services that they offer to the students. So do they have culinary internship? Do they have food and beverage internship? Do they offer front office internship? Or do they offer business internship or other J1 programs that are available? Because like I've said earlier, they're not all the same. So for example, you want to choose your own location, or you want to be placed with your friend. Do they offer those services, So those are something that you should keep in mind. That's why I keep saying this earlier, and that you should always know what you are looking for, and you should have something in mind what you can compromise and not, because this will really affect your program. Number 5 is location and services. So for location, is it okay that they are here in the United States and you are in your home country, so all of your transactions will be online? Or do you want something or an agency that is near you, something that is like 5 minutes drive or like 30 minutes drive? So it depends on you. So for me, in my own preference, now now that I know what I want and I know what I need, I would like something that is based online so I can do more. For example, I need to be in our business, this like when I'm talking like in our home country, so I was always in our business, so I need to be in our business. At the same time, I need to process my J1 application, so it is very important that or it is very convenient that all of the process will be online, so I can like multitask. Or if you are someone who wants to do like in personal, or you want, what do you call this, like a human touch or like human personalization, then you should look for an agency that is near you. Now, the disadvantage about the local agencies in your home country, most of the time they ask you to be in their agency from time to time. So in that case, if you're a busy person, that is first very inconvenient, and second is it will cost you so much money, paying for the gas, or if you have your own car, or paying for an Uber, or like any, I don't know, whatever transportation that you will be using, so that can cost you more money. So that is something that you should think about too. Next is their office hours. So this is like connected to the location. So for example, the agency that are here in the United States are obviously have a different office hours. So it can be morning here and then it will be nighttime in your country, or it can be like almost the same time, just like 5 hours difference. So that is something that you should keep in mind. And if your agency is here in the United States, you should also keep in mind that there are holidays here that are no office hours, or you cannot communicate with them during the weekends because there's no office hours. So it is very important to know what are the office hours of your agency, so you know what is the best time to reach out with them if you really need like an immediate answer. Next is requirements. So do they require you contract bonds? Do they require you to give them a 1 million pesos check just to make sure that you are returning to your home country? Or are they asking you for that land title or something that you should give to them just to assure you that you are coming to your home country? So there are agencies that require contract bans, and there are also other agencies that doesn't require contract bans. So the agency that I have partnered with, they don't offer contract bans because that is something that I look for. That's why like I've said before, that we really have the same values. That's why I really love working with them. And next is freedom to book your flights, because like I've said earlier, I really had a bad experience because I was looking for a cheaper program fees, or a cheaper agency that will help me get here in the United States. But it ended up that my last agency has a higher price of program fee because they did not let me to choose or book my own flight. So of course she has a commission and stuff like that, which I understand. But if you are very careful with your money, then that is something that you should keep in mind for, because if the agency doesn't allow you to book your own ticket, there's a possibility that one, it is a lot higher or more expensive. Second is you cannot choose the time when do you want to leave, and you cannot also choose what airlines do you want to use, especially if you have a preference. So that is something that you should also take down notes on what to look for an agency. But now, if you don't really care, or if it's okay for you that they will be the one who will book your flights, or they have contract bans, then that's fine. I'm not against that at all. It really just depends on what your needs and what you are looking for. Next is how exactly they can help you, because like I've said earlier, that there are tons of agencies that can help you do this program, but we all know that each J1 student is a case-to-case basis. There are students that have relatives in the United States, and there are students that are don't have relatives in the United States. There are students that did something bad in the United States, and there are also students that did really good well when they went here. Or if you have relatives that overstayed here in the United States, that is something that can affect your situation or your approval in your visa. So there's an agency, or you should look for an agency that can help you exactly based from your situation, based from what you need, because it's always a different approach. Like for us, or for me, I approach every J1 students differently because you guys have all different needs and different situation that we should take action on. So that is very important, for you also to be transparent with your situation, and also with the agency, to know how they can exactly help you. Or if your visa got denied, you should ask your agency before you pay all of the fees that you will pay them. Ask them, okay ma'am, what if my visa get denied? Will you help me, process all of this paper again, or is there a chance that I can do the J1 visa again for the second time, or will you cancel my contract? That is something that you should know. And also, for example, okay, will you help me fix my DS-160, or you don't really care at all? Will you help me, construct my sentences on how I will answer the console, or no? So why is that very important? Because that is the main reason, or that is one of the biggest problem that I see from the J1 students, that they are really struggling to, especially in the J1 visa process in the US Embassy in your home country. So when you look for an agency, you should know how exactly they can help you in your current situation. Okay, next is cost of services. So there are agencies that are expensive but worth it, but also there are agencies that are expensive but not worth it. Their services are so that's funny. But anyway, so you should choose, or you should weigh what are the things that you will get in this agency, and how much this program fees, or how much will they charge you. Can you afford it or not? Will you do you need an agency that is way cheaper but still offer good services? There are things that you need and want from them, and there are things that they don't offer, but you can compromise. As long as you can compromise and they are very transparent, then that's fine. But if you really need like a focused help, you really need, or you have a special current situation in your hands that you need a special help, then go for an agency that offers special help, even if it costs extra money. If you think it very well, for example, let's say, okay, this agency A offers you $3,000 program fee, but they don't know how exactly they can help you in your J1 visa process. So you might be denied, there's a possibility, then you will have to pay extra $160. Then now it's like their program fee is like $3,160. But if there's an agency, for example, type B agency, that offer their program fee as $3,100, so it's $100 more expensive than type A, but they know exactly how they can help you, and you have really like a good gut feeling that you will not have a second visa interview because they are really helpful. Then you will save $160. So all in all, you will save extra $60 just by being here. Not only $60, but I know more than that, because you will save transportation, just going extra day going to the US Embassy, and then it will save you more time and accommodation if you don't live near the area. So that is something that you should always think about. As like I've said earlier, it might, at first you might think that this is not important, but all of these factors are really important and have an important role in your J1 visa program. Okay, next is policy. Will they give you a refund if you don't want to proceed with the program? Or for example, you do this J1 program and there's really circumstances that we don't expect and you really need to cancel out. So will they give you half refund, full refund, or they don't give refund at all? So that is something that you should think about. Second is you need to know where's the responsibility start and end. So there are things that we expect the agency to do it for us, but it is not their responsibility. Like for example, filling up your DS-160. So it is very important that you know where's their responsibility start and end. So you're not, for example, you're not hating them for the wrong reason, because sometimes we're like, oh, this agency doesn't reply at all. They didn't reply, but hey, when did you send your message? You send it like Saturday and Sunday, and they don't have office hours. So that is something that you should not blame for the agency. Or for example, okay, that agency is so bad because they didn't do a back visa interview with me, that's why I failed. Well, first of all, that is not the responsibility of the agency. That is your responsibility to pass the visa interview, and also, if from the start, or if you ask them where's the responsibility start and ends, then it will set the right expectation, and you will not have a conflict with it. It's easier to communicate now with them, or it is now easier to move on with this program because they are very transparent and you know all of their policy and rules in this program. So before you make a decision, always ask yourself, are we the right fit? Is that the right agency? Is that the best agency for my needs? So remember, the key is hire an agency that will not make you feel stupid. So you should always aim to leave the meeting or the interview feeling that you understand what is going on with your program and what is the next step for you. No one is going to care about your program more than you. For the longest time, I thought I was a bad client for asking too much questions because my old agency made me feel bad about it. So the best advice that I can give you right now is to aim to find a professional that will make you more knowledgeable and not make you feel bad for asking questions about your J1 program. Remember that you are the one who is paying them. You have the control if you will proceed with them or not. You have the ability, you know, to do the decision that, you know, okay, this is my money, you can help me. Or, okay, this is my money, I don't care if you help me or not. So that is really on you, and you have the power and the capability to say no or you don't agree with them. That's why it is very important to know what you want, what you need, what you can compromise, and what's not. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video and take down notes because I am super passionate about this video because I don't want anyone or any more students that will really experience this stuff with a bad agency, or like will splurge more money with the agency that is not worth their money. So please take down notes and choose the right agency that is right for your needs. And if you need recommendation for the best agency, just comment down below or send your resume to our email rio@rioworldwide.co. I will put it here so you guys can have a guide. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell because on our next video, we will talk about more how the J1 program works, especially if this is your first time doing this program. So make sure to click the notification bell and click all notifications so you'll be the first person to be notified whenever that video is out. So don't forget to click these two videos right here. I make a lot of J1 videos and American culture that is for sure will help you in your journey. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much. Bye for now.